Oh, yeah. Eons ago, there was a man. That man grew up to be a condor. He spread his wings and he took flight, and he flew from day to night. He looked to the left, and then he looked to the right. He looked up, and he looked down. One could say this condor, while flying, looked all around. What did he see? He saw a world in which he could be free. But then, there was hunters on the prowl. They wanted to shoot that condor down. They readied, aimed, and fired. Did they hit it? Did they hit what they desired? No, for the condor was 6 steps ahead. And on the 7th step, he pronounced the hunters dead. He then perched where he laid to rest. And the condor said, "You motherfuckers tried your best. But you could not, and you will not bring me down." And then the condor made one final sound. No, I didn't have a condor skin. Yo, if I had a condor skin with the cam on, that'd have been crazy. Oh man. This is so sick. I just looked up fucking ambient epic music for an intro, and I just started talking. Oh man, how y'all doing today? I gotta turn this down. This shit epic as fuck. Starting to tear up. Dude, you want to hear something crazy? We should turn that from here. The boys for Halo Run. Gotta go back rank battle up and I'll keep you. Okay, bet. Halo Run, bet. I've been playing Halo lately. I'm ass. I'm alright. I'm ass. So I wanted to go over some fact checks of last stream. And yes, Darren, I'm here on time. I was about to take a nap, and I was like, nah, if I nap, Darren's gonna give me some shit. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna just run it. Who's that? Who's Kate Autumn? Okay. So some fact checks from last stream. You know, we got to keep our hands clean, you know, with some of the shit that we say. We may or may not be misinformed. Now, while I wasn't entirely wrong, there's just some minor adjustments that they made. In reference to Palestine, I said that Hamas was the governing entity for Palestine and Palestinians. That is not true. They were the governing entity for Gaza specifically. So not all of Palestine, but just for Gaza specifically. another thing that was brought to my attention was that this actually isn't a race conflict specifically. This is a genocide strictly based on religion. This is a religious genocide. Palestinian bloodline dates as far back as the Hebrews. And it's so funny because people are using that Hebrews have been around since X amount of years. They obviously have claim to this land first. Palestinians are descendant of Hebrews. In fact, the genome of Jewish people. Yeah, I know the music's still long, which is it kind of hits with. I like having the music on in the background. I don't know. I like having the music on in the background. Is it too loud? Is it competing? Am I competing with it? I'll turn it down. But the genome of Israeli people. The music slowly overpowered. Okay, I turned it down. I'll turn it down a lot more. Thank you, Squad, for letting me know. Shit. But yeah, the genome of Israeli and Palestinian have massive overlay. Israeli, Palestinian, Jewish, Muslim, all of them have overlaying roots dating back to Hebrews. That is how I am Jewish. I am Jewish racially, not religiously. So my blood goes back to the Hebrews. So the whole this is their land because these are descendants of Hebrews, so are Palestinians. It's strictly based off of religion. A better analogy is if, a white Christian was to break into a white Catholic person's home and say, hey, this home belongs to me because my scripture says so. That's literally what is happening, which is horrific. But I wanted to clear those two things up. Another thing I wanted to talk about today, some current events. I don't know if you know about this, but T.I.'s son, who's aptly named King, was acting a whole fool at the Falcons game. Now, the who's and the what's and the whys and the wheres of the video is confuzzled. They say that someone King felt disrespected in some sort of way, shape, or form. But the video picks up with, I think King was on live, because it's like one of those front-facing low cameras talking about, like, y'all not gonna disrespect me, I'm about business, X, Y, Z, all that good stuff. And T.I. says, very specifically, you're embarrassing yourself and this family by the way you're acting. Now, he was misquoted in certain outlets of saying, you're embarrassing, you're an embarrassment. T.I. did not call King an embarrassment. He said, you're embarrassing yourself and this family right now by the way you're acting. Which I think is in the green. Absolutely, a fucking parent can say that to their kid. Now we'll get into the tea when it comes to that shit. But yeah, and then T.I. went to remove King from the situation, and I think King started shifting. Like when you angry and you hot and you talking to someone and someone that you love is right there, and then they go to get you out the way, and you like, get the fuck off me, all that shit like that. Well, he's doing all that get off me to T.I. And T.I.'s like, you ain't doing nothing with me. You are not doing nothing with me. Like, get your ass out the motherfucking shit. And King's at that age where he's going to try to show up, show out, and all that good stuff. And people are making fun of King, being like, oh, he got a silver spoon in his mouth and shit like that. And he absolutely does. They said he was raised by his grandma. And during the show that they were filming when he was like a kid, he would go over and live with T.I. and Tiny during the show, but he was actually raised by his grandma. I don't know why that happened. Maybe T.I. was always on the road. Maybe Tiny was always on the road. X, Y, and Z. Who knows? I know they were trying to make King into an artist, and King even showed attitude problems at a young age back then as well. Um, with that being said, um, it's funny, isn't it? When your parents break into the industry, you know, Tiny used to be a part of this group called Escape, which is a dope fucking all-female R&B group. Escape was fucking legit. Little Secret, Just Kick It, and some other shit. And T.I. obviously trapping and making hit album after hit album after hit album. They grew up from the gutter, so they raised their kid to make sure that, hey, you don't have to go through what I went through type shit. And there's the cases of where it's Jaden Smith, where they want to do good and do right to their community. Jaden, I think, is an excellent example of parents who broke through and gave their kid everything that they needed, and their kid still was like, you know what, still humble type shit. They dabbled here and there, but they wanted to build their own way. And then there's the kids that, because their parents came from that and they hear the stories, they think it's glory, and they want to go for it, and they want to revert back. They want to undo everything their parents did. And it's kind of sad, really, because it's like, dog, you don't have to. Like, we all know who your mom and dad is. Like, you can just be thankful and just build your own path type shit. And yeah, Jane didn't slap people on Oscars too. They're saying that whole Oscar slap thing was a skit. I don't know. I think it's pent up rage. I think Will Smith should not have slapped Chris Rock. I think Will Smith felt like, you know, when someone's massively insecure about what's going on behind the scenes, that they just snap. You know, like, hey, I'm not that person for you to make a joke on type shit. Should he have done it there? Absolutely not. Who knows if it was work or if it wasn't a work? I don't know. Exactly. I don't know if actors are acting. I mean, even just yesterday, Snoop Dogg saying, I'm done with smoke. And then people were like, but he didn't say smoking weed, just said smoke. And it turned out to be a whole campaign about, you know, so everything's a fucking work. Everything's a shoot. The whole world's WWE, if you ask me. But they're saying that King is not T.I.'s son. They're saying that his actual dad is this other guy. I forget who it is, but he looks just like that motherfucker, bro. It's kind of crazy. And then you start to think, he actually doesn't look like T.I. at all. It's interesting when you look at it. It's not my business. I'm not one to gossip. I'm using it as a talking point of the environment in which someone comes up on. You know, people say you're a product of your environment, and I've always emphatically said that it's the person, not the environment, that decides on what they're going to be. Granted, it's easier to excel at what you're going to be depending on your environment, but no man is in charge of another man's destiny. Speaking very broadly, obviously there's egregious things of like felons wrongfully convicted that are jailed, or people that are just killed, right? But I'm saying, like, left alone in a controlled environment, what you do does not impact my personal success if I'm built that way. And I'll take Jaden Smith and King as prime examples. Both born into wealth from parents that made it through the industry, from parents that had to work and grind their way up. It's no, like, Will Smith is well documented on how he made how he was, and T.I. is also well documented how he made how he was. Both very smart, strong black men, both successfully strong, smart black men that instilled intelligence and values into their kid. And it was their kids that decided on how they were going to be viewed. Yeah, it's a great thing Jaden didn't become like Lil Tay. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Motherfucker, like Will Smith didn't exploit his kid. T.I. didn't exploit his kid, not to my knowledge. But they gave them, hey, if you want to do this, here you go. Hey, Jaden, if you want to act, here you go. Try it out. Turns out Jaden can act his fucking ass off. Hey, King, if you want to be a music artist, this is what you have to do. Turns out King did not want to be a music artist. He just wanted to be good at something without putting that work in. And that was very apparent. And it's so funny that it's a clip that I saw where they were trying to teach King stage presence and what it takes to be an artist, and they woke him up at like 5 in the morning, 3 a.m. for a photo shoot, and he was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, and he's crossing his arms, he's pouting, and he's like, and they're like, King, if you want to do this, you have, like, this is what you gotta do, this is what we did. And he's like, no, fuck that. And I was like, oh, he's just not built that way, move on type shit, you know. So yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I kind of want to get through these topics pretty quickly, is and it's no secret, I'm from I'm in Arizona, and I'm a music artist in Arizona, rap specifically. Shout out to Solo, SO-LOW. And there's this topic in AZ, in the AZ rap scene, where there's two sides to the argument, two major sides to the argument. Is there gatekeeping in Arizona rap? The reason why they say this is because the predominant promoters in Arizona rap music are white people, and they feel like they don't put black people on specifically. And then there's black people, black artists that were put on by these three white promoters, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? So it's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? And the argument is there's no gatekeepers in Arizona's rap and hip hop. It's you're not willing to put the work in. Similar to Jaden Smith and King, the Jaden Smith King argument. Like, what are you cut? Like, what cloth are you cut from? Are you cut from silk? Are you cut from cotton? Are you cut from polyester? You know, what are you cut from? And I want to tackle this question, this debate, from top down, with the word gatekeeping. What does gatekeeping mean? Not what you understand it to mean, but what does gatekeeping mean? It means the activity of controlling and usually limiting the general access of something, right? Exactly right, Darren. Controlling. It means when someone personally takes it upon themselves to decide who and who does not have access to the community or anything like that. And in the most broadest term, no one can gatekeep your music from anything. No one is stopping you from doing a show. Now, if you say, yeah, but they won't let me on that show, I wouldn't even consider that gatekeeping. Actually, I would consider that gatekeeping, but They're gatekeeping their thing, right? You can choose to ignore it. You can choose to go the other way. Yeah, but that person got on because of that. And since I can't get on because of that, and I'm better than that person, they're gatekeeping that art. They're safe. It's like, no, you're using the wrong word, in my humblest of opinion. With that being said, I do think gatekeeping is appropriate. The real question is why? What? Right? What are you gatekeeping? What are you keeping from this gate? And why are you keeping it from entering this gate? I'll break it down like this. If artist A does not like artist B because artist B said something mean about artist C, and artist A and C are friends, so then artist A tells promoter A to not book artist B because he said something mean about artist C, and therefore promoter A says, I'm never booking artist B because of that. That's fucking wrong. That is bullshit gatekeeping. That is a bias. That's not appropriate as a platform or business. That claims to be upper echelon of putting motherfuckers on. Now, if artist A does not like artist B because artists B and C were supposed to work together, they did, and artist B elected not to pay artist C for that work, said fuck you to artist C, and acted like they're hot shit. And then artist A went to promoter A and be like, hey man, watch out for that guy. Just watch out for that guy because this is what he did. This is the bad business that he did. Do with that information how you want to deal with it. I wouldn't book him, but if you want to, go for it. And then promoter A was like, oh no, I don't want to do bad business. I want to protect my brand and the people I associate with from doing that bad business. To me, that is still gatekeeping, but for a perfectly appropriate reason. Like if you choose not to work with somebody because you don't fuck with that person because they're an Eagles fan, like that's stupid. That's childish. And you're not being professional. But if you don't want to fuck with a person because you saw how they do business and you're like, I do not want to associate myself with that business, then that's fine. That's still gatekeeping. That's fine. So when someone gets accused of gatekeeping, yeah, I do gatekeep. But there's a reason why. Similar to the King Killer Cruise community. If someone came in here and started spouting out wild fucking shit, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. If someone came in here and was rude to the lurkers that just chill and vibe out with me, get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you doing? We don't do that here. He's gatekeeping. Yeah, I am. I absolutely am. Body by Tacos. What up, baby? But it's appropriate, you know? There's this quote that really changed how I looked at things. It was, we need to be intolerant to intolerance. That's the only way to combat it. If we are accepting of everything, every idea, dumb, smart, and in between, loving, hateful, in between, then the only thing that's going to happen is that the dumb, hateful ideas will grow because the loving and accepting ideas will feel pushed out. Way to be intolerant to dumb ideas. Hey, that idea is fucking stupid. Hey, that thought that you just said, that thing you just said, is really fucked up. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, well. Yeah, well. Bye. It was this story where it was this bar. It was just a very nice bar. And this dude came in there rocking a little German historic symbol. And the bar was known to just be very chill, low key. You know, this person walked in there rocking the yeah. And the bartender said, "Hey, get the fuck out of here." And the dude's like, "What do you mean? I just want to drink. I'm not bothering anybody." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of here." And the dude was like, And even people were like, "Hey, why?" The guy seemed like he was chill. He was like, "Fuck that. Fuck him." Because you know what's going to happen? Next week, he's going to bring 3 of his buddies. And then the next week, they're going to bring 4 of their buddies. And then by the end of the month, I'm going to be known as that type of bar. And I do not want to be known as that type of bar. So he cut that shit off right fucking there and said, "I got to be intolerant to intolerant motherfuckers." So when you say that someone in AZ hip hop is gatekeeping, instead of saying like, "Oh, why are you gatekeeping?" Instead ask, "Why are you gatekeeping? Who are you keeping from performing? This person? Let me check this person out." "Oh, yeah, get that the fuck out of here." You know? Or if it's like, "Let me check this person out. This person seems fine. What's going on? Hey, why did they? Oh, they don't like me because their ex got with me." I'm like, "Oh, that means that person's super fucking emotional and doesn't stand on business. And that means that I have to like be super like nice and cordial to this person and make sure I don't offend them." You know? That's the question you should be asking, in my humblest of opinions. What else? What else? Oh my gosh. I thought I did something. I didn't do anything. What was the other things that I said I wanted to talk about? Are we talking about? I should have wrote it down. I know I should have wrote it down. Oh, dude. Okay. So, moving on to the next topic. Oh, I should have fucking put it up so I knew where the fuck the shit was. Whatever, Solomon. No one gives a fuck. And by I don't mean nobody cares. I mean like no one gives a shit. Tone is everything. Tone is fucking everything, bro. There's this saying. There's a saying. I don't fucking matter. And depending on how you hear that tone, it can be crushing or it can be freeing. You know. What did you say? The phrase is, "I don't fucking matter." And again, depending on how you hear it, it can be crushing or it can be freeing. I don't fucking matter. No one cares about me. Oh, they don't give a shit. I should just go away. That sucks. Or I don't fucking matter. No one gives a shit about me. I'm gonna do my own thing. You know, that is how you should view life. You shouldn't view life, "I don't fucking matter. No one cares about me. I'm not gonna do anything today." You should be like, "I don't fucking matter. No, they shouldn't be worried about me. I'm gonna dance my ass off, sing my ass off, rap my ass off. I'm gonna play the shit that I want to play." That type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you should view life. That statement is freeing. So whenever you're down in the dumps and you're saying to yourself, "I don't fucking matter," say to yourself, "I don't fucking matter. Let's go. Let's fucking rock it. Let me focus on me. I do appreciate those words of encouragement, Darren. I do appreciate the fuck out of you. Side tangent. Dude, so I've been having the strangest, roughest, scariest dreams this past month. So my entire life that I can remember, I've been able to lucid dream. It started off with like sleep paralysis, where, you know, I fall asleep and I think that I'm still awake and I can't fucking move. And I asked my mom what that was way back in the day, and she scared the shit out of me. She called it must be a southern term, she called it the witch's ride. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And she was like, it's when you're stuck there, you can't move, you're aware of everything. It means that a witch is trying to either take control of your body or she's using you for something. And I was like, oh fuck. And I always try to like wiggle my feet or get up or like, you know, shoot the fuck up. Sometimes when that happens and I fall back to sleep, I'm able to like super remember my dreams and even control my dreams. The scary dreams where I'm trying to run but I can't run fast enough, or I'm trying to throw a punch but when I get here it dies down. And I have this working theory in my head. It's because since I'm so conscious of it, I'm thinking, oh, what if this doesn't hurt the person? And then it doesn't hurt the person. So then I start thinking, oh, this hurts the person, and then it started hurting the person. I'm like, cool, fuck yeah. With that being said, the scariest lucid dream I ever had was in my bedroom, where I fall asleep and I hear this airy breath, and I see this figure coming down, like just hair coming down this way. And I don't see a face, but I see like the top of eyes, like just the top of the person's eye. And they say in a very airy voice, a shallow crackle, if you will, "Ah, you're back." And I wake up and I'm like, get me the fuck, I'm shooketh. That was the scariest lucid dream I ever had. Until 2 weeks ago, where I'm having a lucid dream. I'm in my bed. I'm face down. I'm like the wet floor sign. And I'm trying to get up, trying to wake up, trying to snap out of this. And the room was dark. You know, there's a little bit of backlight. I'm trying to get up and get out. And then I get up. But I'm still asleep. And I get up and I see this shadowy figure where my body was laying. And I'm stumbling. It's like I'm learning how to walk again. And I'm stumbling out. And I stumble out of my room. And Nugs, he came down to visit me from VA. So he was where I'm sitting at right now. But everything I was seeing was still just in all black. And I'm stumbling down the hallways, and I see the hallway and everything, but I don't see it. It's like in wireframe. Like everything's black, but it has a very Technicolor outline. It kind of almost looks like the keyboard, like it's very like RGB type shit. I'm just like walking down this hallway, and I'm putting my hand on this chair, and Nugs isn't there. And then I walk into the front room, and I get this cold shiver And I'm like, I need to make it back to my body. So I'm stumbling backwards, and then I turn around, and I'm crawling, like walking, grabbing back to my body. And then I lay down into it, and then I start wiggling and doing all that shit, and then I wake up. And I've never been more scared before in my fucking life than having that dream. And then today at work, I went on a lunch and I was able to sleep for 20 minutes. But only for 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, let me get up. Because I was like, it's almost that time. And I'm trying to get up and I'm like, I'm locked again. And I was like, fuck, no, I can't be locked right now. I don't want to clock out. I don't want to clock back in late. So I'm like doing all this shit and I'm just like screaming, bro. Like screaming, like, get up. Like, get up. But I can't. And then I eventually get up and I clock back in on time. But I'm like, fuck, dude, this shit is happening super frequently. Even right now, I'm like dead ass exhausted. Like, I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, but I'm like, I am on fumes right now. But yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about for this past week. Oh, and my Spotify Wrapped. So I have Spotify and Spotify for Artists, and in my Spotify, I'm like my number 2 most played artist. It goes Chris Brown, myself, Drake, Lil Uzi, and Tove Striker. I'm like, shit, I better be on my top 5. Can you imagine if you didn't love your own music? Why are you making music? If you don't love your own shit, why are you making music? Like, hell yeah. I used to be self-conscious. Like, oh, I don't want people to know that I listen to myself. Fuck yeah, I listen to myself. I made this song because I wanted to bang it. And hopefully people also want to bang it too. That type shit. Let's watch some things. Let's react to some things. Oh, and Malika Andrews is a fucking clown. People that don't know, Malika Andrews has been like emphatically, like, if there's a moment where she can knock down a black athlete, she absolutely will. And if there's a moment where she doesn't, or where she can knock down a white athlete, she won't. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like, she's been super silent in the Josh Giddey situation, and people are like, it's just allegations. Yeah, then why does she air out that one dude on draft day? It was supposed to be a special night, and he didn't even do the thing she was talking about. That was an allegation too. And she's like, and she always says, we'd be remiss to inform you. We'd be remiss if we didn't inform you that this person has also been allegated of this. And it's like, no, you wouldn't, because it's an allegation. Hey, Josh Giddey has a photo out. Well, it's an allegation. I can get into trouble. You're a fucking coward. That's what you are. Bad liars lying, or you'd be surprised of how close-minded you are. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, Epic